Good day everyone. Welcome back to our music class. It's fantastic to see you all again on our third day together. I hope you've been enjoying the sessions so far and finding them both fun and informative. Over the past 2 days, we've already made great strides in exploring the basics and setting a strong foundation. Today, we're going to delve deeper into music scales and modes. And I'm excited to see how you all continue to grow and develop your musical talents. As always, I encourage you to participate actively, ask questions, and share your thoughts. Your engagement is what makes this class truly dynamic and enriching for everyone. Remember, every step you take brings you closer to mastering your musical skills. Thank you for your enthusiasm and dedication. Let's dive in and make today's class another fantastic session of learning and making music together. So, today we will be looking at music scales and modes. Musical scales form the building blocks of music. Understanding musical scales and their functions is essential in learning basic music theory. This section looks at the 2 most common scales, their scale degrees, and the 7 music modes. What is musicales? A music scale is a set of notes within an octave arranged by their pitch. The ascending or descending interval relationships among the note pitches define each scale. Moreover, the notes from a scale form melodies and harmonies. There are several types of scales. However, the 2 main types are the major scale and the minor scale. You can build both major and minor scales from any note. How you use them depends on the pattern of intervals you use. What are major scales? There are 12 possible natural major scales. Natural major scales are bright, uplifting, and happy sounding. The 7 notes in all major scales follow the same interval pattern. WWH WWWH whole half whole half. What are minor scales? Natural minor scales are dark, sad, and emotional sounding. The 7 notes in all minor scales follow the same interval pattern. WHWWHWW whole half whole. There are 12 possible natural minor scales. In addition, there are 3 variations of the minor scale: natural, harmonic, and melodic. Scale degrees. Each note of a scale has a specific name related to its function, called a scale degree. The name is the function, and a number indicates its position on the scale. There are 7 scale degrees. These names apply to all major and minor scales. Learning more about these functions takes us into advanced music theory. For now, it's good to know the names: 1st tonic, 2nd supertonic, 3rd mediant, 4th subdominant, 5th dominant, 6th submediant, 7th leading tone. Music can create and release tension. The function of a scale degree relates to the amount of tension created. It also helps you decide what note should follow to resolve the tension. Moreover, remembering the different pitches in major and minor scales is difficult. Referring to the steps of the scale by numbers rather than notes makes it easier to remember. Music modes. Musical modes are scales derived from a parent scale. There are 7 music modes. Each mode is a slight variation of a scale. They use all the same notes and interval patterns as the parent scale. The main difference is the root note used to build the scale. Starting a scale on a different note defines the tonal center, giving it distinct melodic characteristics. The 7 musical modes are: Ionian major scale, Dorian major scale starting on the 2nd degree, 3 Phrygian major scale starting on the 3rd degree, 4 Lydian major scale starting on the 4th degree, V Mixolydian major scale starting on the 5th degree, V Aeolian natural minor scale or major scale starting on the 6th degree, 7 Locrian major scale starting on the 7th degree. Learning musical modes goes beyond basic music theory and is more advanced. However, getting familiar with these terms and basic functions is helpful. Counterpoint. Counterpoint is the relationship between 2 or more melody lines played at the same time. These melodies or voices work together to create pleasant-sounding harmonies. The melodies that create counterpoint are dependent on each other to create harmony. However, they are independent in rhythm and contour. Chords and chord extensions. Chords are the harmonious building blocks of music. They evoke emotion and provide the foundation for creating melodies. Knowing how to build chords and how they interact with each other is essential in learning music theory. This section looks at basic chord types, chord extensions, and inversions. Musical chords. A chord is a combination of two or more notes played at the same time. They're built off a single starting note called the root. You can create chords from all 12 notes. There are also for basic types of chords in music. Major has a major third and a perfect fifth above the root. Minor has a minor third and a perfect fifth above the root. Diminished has a minor third and a diminished fifth above the root. Augmented has a major third and an augmented fifth above the root. The chords and chord progressions in a piece of music support or complement the melody. Triad chords. The most basic chords are triads. A triad is a chord made of 3 notes. Triads have a root note, a third for semitones above the root, and a perfect fifth 7 semitones above the root. Triads are also the foundation for more complex chords. For example, you can create 7th and 9th chords by adding notes above a tri. 7th chords. A 7th chord adds a note above the basic triad. 7th chords have a root note, a third, a perfect fifth, and a 7th. For example, a C major 7th has the notes C, G, B. There are also 5 main types of 7th chords: major, minor, dominant, diminished, and half diminished. Major chords. Major chords have a root note, a major third, and a perfect fifth. A chord with these 3 notes alone is a major triad. For example, a C major triad has the notes C, G. You can also add notes to build more complex chords. Minor chords. Minor chords have a root note, a minor third, and a perfect fifth. A chord with these 3 notes alone is a minor triad. For example, a C minor triad has the note C, G. You can also add notes to build more complex chords. Diminished chords. Diminished chords sound tense, dissonant, and dramatic. They have a root note, minor third, and a diminished fifth 6 semitones above the root. For example, a C diminished triad has the notes C flat, G flat. Augmented chords. Augmented chords sound dissonant, unsettling, and mysterious. They have a root note, major third, and an augmented fifth 8 semitones above the root. For example, a C augmented triad has the notes C, G sharp. Chord extensions. Chord extensions are notes added to the basic triad beyond the 7th. These notes extend into the next octave. There are for chord extension, the 9th, 11th, and 13th. Extended chords create a richer, more harmonically complex sound than basic major and minor triads. They also provide additional voice leading possibilities, which makes chord progressions sound more interesting. Chord inversions. Chord inversions are variations of the same chord. Transposing the bottom note in a chord to the next octave creates an inversion. There are 2 main chord inversions: first inversion and second inversion. First inversion transposes the root note up 1 octave. The third of the triad becomes the bass note. Second inversion transposes the inverted triad again. The fifth of the triad becomes the bass note. Chord inversions add variation, excitement, and smoother transitions in chord progressions. The more notes a chord has, the more possible inversions. Chord progressions. A chord progression, or a harmonic progression, is an ordered series of chords. Chord progressions support both the melody and the rhythm. They also provide the foundation for creating harmony and melody. Moreover, the key determines the chords used in a progression. A progression can also consist of major and minor chords. Roman numeral analysis. Roman numerals indicate the chords in a progression. They identify the musical key and the root note for each chord. For example, for means the chord is built on the 4th degree of a scale. Uppercase Roman numerals represent major chords, while lowercase numerals represent minor chords. For example, a chord progression in the key of C major would look like IVI, IVV, CM, FG. Delving deeper into this topic goes beyond basic music theory. However, it helps to introduce this numerical system. Voice leading. Voice leading is the linear movement between melodic lines or voices to create a single musical idea. This technique focuses on the smooth movement of notes from one chord to the next using common-sounding tones. Voice leading also minimizes the vertical and horizontal transitions between notes in a chord progression or melody. These smaller moves sound more natural and pleasing. When creating a chord progression, use harmonically related chords. They can share similar notes or have inversions to make the stepwise motion smoother. For example, a C major chord and a minor chord both have the notes E and C. Thank you so much for watching. I appreciate your support and hope you enjoyed the content. If you did, please don't forget to like, share, and subscribe. By doing so, you'll stay updated and won't miss out on any of my upcoming posts. Looking forward to having you join me on this journey again soon.